Morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Friday, November 14th, 2025. That's more than 5.5 years of Torah every single day. Finding each other from across the world, learning together, growing together, knowing that when we show up, there's a community waiting for us. Tracy Ann, good to see you. Amy, Ryan, Kate, and Susie, Michelle, and Rosa. Boker Tov, Toraim Tovim to you, Rosa, in Malta. It's good to see everyone. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. Linda, good Shabbos, my friend. Good Shabbos, kind soul. Let's see who else is here. We're going to share a bracha, share a blessing, learn some Torah, and get ready for Shabbos. Tziona, good to see you. Boker Tov, Ryan. Nice to see you too. All right, let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Here we go. So good morning, everybody. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. We're getting ready for Shabbos today. Penny, I saw that. Thank you. It is our 1,426th broadcast. That's a lot. Let's learn some Torah. Parshat Chayei, where we are this week, learning all week and getting ready to read this parsha on Shabbat, is an extraordinary one. It covers so much ground, generational shifts, as we've spoken about, the gift of chutzpah from Eliezer, asking for what he needs, the graciousness, generosity, and strength of Rebecca as she shows up and answers that need with beyond strength. It's good to celebrate, Stanley, your mother's 99th birthday today. Mazal tov to you and Arlene. Beautiful that you're driving to DC for a wedding and you get to see your granddaughter. These are wonderful things to share. Kim, you are thanked by Valerie for leading a group at APAC yesterday. There's a lot going on, friends. I'm so glad that we're sharing it all. One of the things in this week's Parsha surrounding the death of Abraham is beautiful to note and doesn't receive enough attention because of all the other stuff going on in the Parsha. It's understandable why we'd miss it. So let's look at it for a second. Genesis 25, verses 8 and 9. I'll read the Hebrew, then I'll read an English translation, and we'll talk about it for a moment. Vayigva vayamot Abraham b'siva tova zaken v'saver vayeasef el amav. ויקברו אותו יצחק וישמעאל בניו אל מערת המכפלה אל שדה עפרון בן צוחר החיתי אשר על פני ממרא. First verse 8 in the English. And Abraham breathed his last, dying at a good ripe age, old and contented, and he was gathered to his kin. a lot to say about this. We know about Abraham's life. We know about his life story. Really? Old and contented? Zaken v'savea? I've heard many comments on this over the years, some of them pointing to the fact that he chose gratitude. A gratitude practice can be at hand in the worst of circumstances, in the most typical, which means bumpy, of lives. To lead a life and towards its end to look back with gratitude, that is gorgeous. I'm skeptical because he's lost so much. I think we're supposed to read this and say, look at that, old and contented, and he was gathered to his kin. Again, gratitude as a choice. Abraham, as he dies, is described by the Torah itself as old and contented. I can't imagine. But it's not for me to imagine. It was for him to hold. And the Torah tells us how he felt. So powerful. The very next verse perhaps opens up a key to us as to how he could have possibly felt that way. After he dies, the English says, his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah. Now, I can't help but hear today's reverberations in the ancient text. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him. Isaac and Ishmael together buried their father. Ishmael and his mother Hagar have been expelled from the camp. Sarah did that. Sarah then dies at the beginning of this week's Parsha. Avraham dies at the end. There's a tradition, it's not in the Torah, it's an interpretation much later in time, that after Sarah died, Avraham sought out Hagar and they reunited. But that's not in the text. I'd like to live in this part of the text without bringing in any later layer of interpretation. What would it mean if Hagar remained outside the camp, and therefore Ishmael did too? Two different camps, but when they lost a common ancestor, they showed up and did something holy together. Just imagine for a moment, my friends, not to be Pollyannish, but yes, to do some dreaming with you. What would it be like after everything that we have gone through, and we're in the midst of so much else, after everything Abraham's children have gone through, to do something good together, to show up together, to show reverence to a common past? Wouldn't that shine some light on what could be a shared future? It doesn't mean everything's forgotten. It doesn't mean everything is forgiven. But wouldn't it be beautiful to show up together? Again, I don't know what that looks like. But Avram's gratitude at the end of his life might be a key. Perhaps by choosing gratitude, we can begin to develop a part of ourselves, tend to it, grow it, nurture it, cherish it, value it, work on it, so that we can come to a place where one day Abraham's children can do something good together. I know that feels a little bit out of reach so often. All the more reason for us to look at Scripture, at Torah, at our tradition, and dream the way it suggests. You see, Rashi, a Torah commentator around the year 1040, says as a comment here, he's quoting Talmud and an ancient midrash. He says, from this, the idea that Isaac and Ishmael did this together, we gather that Ishmael repented of his evil ways and yielded the precedence to Isaac, because actually the first word is Yitzchak, so Isaac, then Ishmael, even though the birth order is reversed. This is what is meant by good old age mentioned in connection with Abraham. That's all Rashi. So, what an important thing for us to consider. Rashi has to believe, as does the ancient tradition, that in order for Isaac and Ishmael to stand together, something has to change in Ishmael. And that might be true. That's more a comment on modern societal dynamics. But it also might be true that something has to change in Yitzchak. It also might mean that something needs to change within Avraham. He has lost so much over the years. He lost Lot, his surrogate child. He lost Ishmael, his firstborn. And on Mount Moriah, he basically lost Isaac. They never speak again. Avram and Yitzchak never speak again. How powerful, friends, to still imagine the possibility of finding gratitude and that pouring into the next generation in a healing way. I don't know what it looks like, but I really hope it happens. I hope gratitude, which is a characteristic we can cultivate and grow, will pave a way forward so that the future doesn't look like the past. We don't want what has been. That's not good enough for our children. Let's make it better. Let's find ways of coming together across difference to do good. So I invite you, friends. We're going to get ready for Shabbos. Let's sing a song. And then we'll close with Hatikva. So I invite you, open your hearts, put on your dancing shoes if you'd like. In memory of Sarah. In memory of Abraham. In honor of the future. Just a chance to do good together. All right, everybody. Let's send our hearts to the east. Kol hon maleva penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avta tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom, friends. See you on Monday.